Hi, I'm Vic Ryckaert, digital reporter here at WRTV.
And I'm digital producer Michael Hartz.
And we're here to talk about cameras in the courtroom. Mike and I have been working on a project looking into the issue. We've got big changes coming. The Supreme Court has recently decided to give judges the power to allow cameras in their courts, which is a sweeping change from what we used to have here in Indiana, which is they weren't allowed unless you had special permission from the Supreme Court. So Mike and I have been looking into it. We found some really interesting things. And Mike, do you want to talk about some of the things you found?
So one of the first cases I could find that we had our cameras in the courtroom was actually in late 1977, and it was the murder trial of Marjorie Jackson, who was the heiress to the Standard Grocery chain. So this was a unique trial in that we were able to get into the courtroom with our cameras and also use the video system that was already installed in the courtroom. So we have some black and white video, we have some color video that we shot, and the judge actually made the decision on his own to let us into the courtroom for this trial.
They in fact did enter the home and break in and burglarize and were confronted by Mrs. Jackson, who was present in the home. The evidence will further show that the crime then changed to a robbery in addition to the burglary, because they were confronted by the human being, the person of Marjorie Jackson, a widow, living alone, 66 years old. And that in fact, in the course of this burglary, a shot was fired and Mrs. Jackson died as a result of that wound.
And that lasted for about a week, right?
Yes. So the Chief Justice at the time, Richard Gibbon, got wind that our cameras were in the courtroom and quickly sent out a letter to all 92 counties, all the judges, basically saying that's a no-no.
Yeah, it basically, without naming the judge involved, said, Judge, you've stepped out of line.
Right.
And we found the judge.
Yeah.
We actually I went to his house and I interviewed him.
Judge John B. Wilson.
John B. Wilson.
I've always been having a progressive bent to myself. I mean, when I was a prosecutor, deputy prosecutor, I did all kinds of new things for the prosecutor's office. And then when I assumed the bench later, that same spirit remained with me. And so my idea was to make the system work better.
This letter ruined his career. This decision to let cameras in his courtroom led to him not getting slated. He was a Republican in Marion County at the time. He did not get slated at the next Republican convention. You know, when it was time for him to run for re-election, he just couldn't. He didn't run.
Right.
So he lost his job over this.
But the vibe I got from your interview was no regrets. He basically saw this case, since it had national attention, as an opportunity to kind of work out the system and use cameras to kind of open the doors to the courtroom for the people. And we thought that was one of the first instances, and actually we reported in 1977 that it was the first major trial that our cameras were inside the courtroom for, but come to find out along the way that there was another one, and that was the murder trial of Connie Nicholas. And WRTV, then WFBM, covered that story from the very beginning.
Your headline story tonight: woman murder suspect found, still alive, with murder weapon in her possession. Now the exclusive film and that story. At about 8 o'clock this evening, the Marion County Sheriff's Office received an anonymous telephone call from a woman saying a car fitting the description of one being sought by police could be found parked beside the road at 56th and Fall Creek Boulevard. The Sheriff's Unit and Channel 6 Mobile Unit 167 took off at the same time and arrived to find a 1955 Chevrolet with license BA902 belonging to Connie Nicholas, wanted for questioning in the murder of Forrest Teal, a Lilly executive, found at 38th and Meadows Drive early this morning. The woman's car was completely closed and locked. She was slumped over the back part of the front seat. A dozen empty medicine bottles beside her on that seat. The deputy used the butt of his pistol to break open the car after Channel 6 newsman Jim Bechtel made the startling discovery that she was still alive instead of already dead as they believed at first.
So Forrest Teal was found with several gunshot wounds in his Cadillac, parked near the Meadows
yep.
Shopping Center. The next day, police were looking for a woman. They were looking for Miss Nicholas, and they found her unconscious in her car in the Fall Creek Parkway area, and she had attempted suicide by taking pills.
And our film crews were there, and one of our photographers was on scene, and it's coverage that was saved and preserved here at WRTV, so we were able to have that.
And here is the first official reaction to that grim find. Sergeant Gene Smith of the Indianapolis Police Homicide Unit gives us the official police description of this discovery.
Well, we received information from headquarters that a sheriff unit had found the car B-Boy A-Adam 902 that we had been put out the all-signal alert on, and we came to the scene and found that the subject is still alive and breathing, and in her purse we recovered a gun. At this time we did not know it's the same weapon until we get ballistics on it.
So yeah, we had a camera there.
Exclusive film.
Yeah, there when they found her body, or well, found her after this overdose attempt.
And authorities thought that she was deceased, and our photographer said, no, she's crying, and we followed it along all the way through, and then when it was time for her trial, Judge Falconer let our cameras into the courtroom for that, and we have the verdict on film.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Minnie B. Nicholas, alias Connie Nicholas, guilty of voluntary manslaughter.
It's really a snapshot of history and what judges and juries and courtrooms look like. But there's one more, isn't there, Michael?
There was. Actually, before the Marjorie Jackson trial, the month before, our cameras were allowed inside the courtroom for the verdict of Tony Karitzis.
And we all remember Tony Karitzis. It was just a really indelible piece of Indianapolis
63
history.
hours of a hostage situation, much of it broadcast live on television, and it was quite a remarkable verdict. The audible gasps in the courtroom.
Find the defendant, Anthony G. Karitzis, not guilty by reason of...
The jurors slipped out a back door to go to the Columbia Club to collect their things, while the defendant was taken back to jail, cut off in mid-sentence by the judge when he tried to make a statement to the jury. Why did the jury go the way it did? Most wouldn't say. A few did.
No sane person could do anything like that.
The state did not have enough evidence to show that he was sane beyond a reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt was the issue.
Not judge him sane beyond a reasonable doubt, and I think anybody who viewed the tapes would tend to agree with us after they've settled down a little bit.
So there were other instances of cameras, maybe not exactly getting in the courtroom, but getting close.
Getting close, yes. So some judges allowed cameras to shoot through open doors and windows, and again, Chief Justice Given did not like that, and eventually sent another letter to judges reminding them that that was against the rules. There was to be no broadcasting of any courtroom proceedings.
And the court, the Supreme Court has been sort of stubborn about this for the past, 4 or 5 decades, right? They've just been adamant about not letting cameras in court under some very limited circumstances. There were 2 pilot projects.
Yeah, things really started to change in the mid-'80s, 1987, when Chief Justice Given stepped back from the Chief Justice role, and Chief Justice Shepard began.
I don't get the impression that what they've done in Kentucky has been burdensome or has resulted in a lower quality of justice. But before I reached a final conclusion about it, I would like to see something more scientific. I'd like to have a feeling that I'd gone through something of a more formal self-education from the practitioner's point of view. My present experience with it is really only as a consumer of TV news.
Chief Justice Shepard came from Evansville, which is just across the river from Kentucky, that allowed cameras in its courtrooms. So he kind of had the ability to see another state, how they operate. And the Indiana Supreme Court's first experiment with cameras came in 1996.
With all new faces now, the state's highest court is letting cameras back in a handful of cases.
All right.
There were more spectators than seats as the experiment began in Evansville, Chief Justice Randall Shepard's hometown. This was the appeal of the death penalty hanging over the head of a man who murdered 3 people. 2 of those victims were the grown children of Mae McIntyre, who attended this proceeding.
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me that the cameras are here. I think people have the right to hear what's going on and see what's going on.
I think that today's experiment, which I consider to be extremely successful, I doubt that anyone in the courtroom even realized after the first second or two that cameras were present.
The MTV generation thinks it's about time.
Well, I think it's good. I mean, I think it makes everybody do a better job if they know they're being watched.
High drama it is not, simply justices and lawyers arguing over what lower courts did. The state Supreme Court wants to see how this goes before even considering letting cameras into the trial courts.
And then an official pilot program got underway in 2006.
State, ready to go?
For the first time in decades, a camera was allowed inside a Marion County courtroom.
This is State of Indiana versus Royal Amos. It's 49G020603 MRO 42991.
Royal Amos, the man accused of murdering 2 people and injuring 4 children, is here for a pretrial hearing today. With the cameras rolling, the case was set for trial in October.
I didn't pay attention to it, quite honestly. It had no... I didn't see it at all.
This is the second case to be videotaped in the state as a part of an 18-month pilot program, making Indiana the 34th state in the country that allows cameras in the courtroom.
You know, Indiana's finally coming into the 21st century, I guess, by allowing cameras in the courtroom. I think it's a good idea, but it's new to us.
Defense attorney Mark Inman supports the idea of allowing the public to see on television what happens here in court.
Because then they might understand that the criminal justice system is poorly funded and poorly supported, and maybe we can spend $120 million on the criminal justice system as opposed to the Colts Stadium.
That first pilot program ended in December of 2007, and the hiccup with that pilot program was that all parties had to agree to allow the cameras in the courtroom. And that was a tall order. And because of that agreement, that everybody had to be in agreement to allow cameras, there weren't many instances in which they were able to really see how cameras would impact a trial.
So that first pilot project was kind of a failure because they just didn't get enough sort of test cases to see how it worked. So I interviewed Jim Voyles, a longtime defense attorney here in Indianapolis, who is, you know, if Indianapolis has like a big-time famous defense attorney, it's Mr. Voyles. He was Mike Tyson's lawyer, and he was involved in actually that 1977-78 case.
Marjorie Jackson, Howard Willard, who was on trial for
yeah, he was Howard Willard's attorney in that case. And so we have video of young Jim Voyles, and then today Jim Voyles talking about that case.
Everybody referred to it as a Marjorie Jackson murder case. Howard Willard was my client, obviously, and I co-counseled that with Henry Gonzalez from Tampa, Florida.
And Jim Voyles, who, from the defense attorney side, hates cameras.
Yep.
He wants no part of cameras.
And what it really comes down to for him was control. He wants to have control over, you know, the way his client appears and everything in the courtroom. And once there's a camera there, there's no getting that back if something gets out.
You know,
yeah.
You know, we're talking about it, but why don't we let Jim tell people?
Sure.
If you can't control the environment of your case, and that's part of it, about how my client reacts when we walk out of the courtroom. Even when you're not having a camera in the courtroom, you've got one outside. And how do they react outside? I mean, all that to me is you have to show respect, and you surely have to project a good image to the general public. And it can go wrong real quick if you're not in control.
So the Indiana Supreme Court launched another pilot program in December of 2021, and it was a 4-month-long pilot program, and there were about 50 requests for media appearances in those courtrooms.
Let's talk about Indiana, who with this, Indiana, I think we said it already, has been stubborn about not wanting cameras in court. Yeah. So stubborn that Indiana is now one of just 2 states that doesn't allow cameras in court. It's Indiana and Louisiana. We spoke with a lawyer named Daniel Byron, who represents the Indiana Broadcasters Association. Mr. Byron is 85 years old and has been fighting to get cameras in court for 3 decades.
Most of his career, yeah.
Yeah, 3 decades this guy's been advocating for it. So he couldn't be happier.
One reason I was hired to become general counsel for the broadcasters was to help them get the opportunity to eliminate Rule 2.17, prohibition on broadcasting proceedings.
We also talked to Chief Justice Loretta Rush, who is, you know, a big cheerleader for cameras in court.
Indiana was one of 2 states, the last 2 states, was Louisiana and Indiana, that didn't allow cameras in the courtroom, so we thought we'd study it. We don't have everybody on board on this, but we studied it. We've done 2 different pilots. We have different committees looking at it. During COVID, when COVID shut down, we live streamed because the Constitution requires that courts be open. And, you know, this guy didn't fall.
Media organizations, the courts, everyone's still kind of trying to figure out what this means for us, what this means for the viewers, and it'll definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah, this is a huge, huge change. It'll impact so many things. It'll impact, you know, even it's putting the courtroom sketch artists out of business.
Yeah, Tina Hansford, a longtime courtroom sketch artist here in Indiana that we spoke to, has a long history of just lending her skill set to sketching courtroom scenes and doing so quickly. I just was amazed at how quickly she could knock out a sketch, and she drew our photographer Otis Jones during our interview with her.
It's fast. You know, I don't think I'll win any great prizes in an art show, but I can draw a portrait fast, and that's the key, I guess.
So that's just one change, but also it's going to open up courts in a way that Indiana just hasn't really seen before. And we're going to see so many cases, and really the one that everybody is talking about and everybody is thinking about is the Delphi case.
Sure, absolutely.
And this is a case of Richard Allen, who's accused of killing 2 young girls in Delphi. And we know there have already been requests for media requests to get cameras in that court. And the judge in that case,
Judge Gull is familiar.
Is familiar with cameras in court, because in that recent pilot project, Judge Gull is one of the judges whose courtroom had the cameras.
The participants may see a camera on them and go, you know, people act foolish sometimes. But I think the solemnity of the proceedings and the solemnity of the rooms that we are in currently will counteract that.
That's been a concern all along, is will cameras impact the trial? Will they be a distraction? How do we protect people testifying, witnesses, you know, minors? There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just, here's a camera and put it on TV. As long as we've been on the air, generally speaking, cameras have not really been allowed to be inside Indiana courtrooms. A couple exceptions through the years, and we've been there when we can, but this will kind of change the way we operate and the way our viewers will see a news story.
Really, it's peeling back the veil, right? It's letting cameras in a place that has been off limits in Indiana and Louisiana, right? While, you know, neighboring states have all let cameras in courts for years. So it feels like, you know, I think viewers probably have been wondering why we can't see this in Indiana courts. And I think, you know, finally the justices have agreed and said it's time. And I guarantee WRTV is going to be in the courtroom as soon as we can.
And the overall goal for us, transparency, and that's kind of the point of this, is walking everyone through what we've learned over the last several months of the history on this and kind of where we're going. We've just been chipping away for decades, as long as we've been on the air. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Michael, that's it, I think.
Yeah, I think that covers it.
Hey, thanks for joining us on this digital special.